subscribers and send out a really special welcome to all of the new subscribers. There's been such a major increase lately, and I am so thrilled to have you guys as part of the family. And if this is the first time you're seeing one of my readings, my name is Odessa. I'm the Mystic Intuitive Healer. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master, spiritual coach, and an intuitive tarot card reader. And through the work I'm doing here on YouTube, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and my own website, odessamall.com, I deliver messages to you that will help you to awaken, heal, align, and grow. I am so excited about today's reading. This one is going to be a little bit juicy, but I also hope that there's going to be some messages that come through that really help guide you guys forward. I am looking into, are you cursed, and how can you remove this hex? So there's been times in all of our lives where everything is going wrong and we're honestly wondering if we're cursed. And I'm going to be looking into that for you. Sometimes the energy does come from outside us, and we have to take certain precautions to sort of redirect that energy. But sometimes the call is coming from inside the house, my friends. So I'm going to be telling you exactly what's going on. And I'm also going to be giving you some guidance from your spirit guides on things that you can do to remove this low vibrational energy from your life so you are on the right track going forward. So I have 3 piles for you guys to select from. Pile number 1 is partnered with Amethyst. Amethyst is used to clear the third eye. And when you have a clear third eye, it's much easier for you to gain knowledge and insight through your intuition that's directly coming from your spirit guides. And then pile number 2 is partnered with this black candle, as well as this little piece of mirror. Now, black candles like this are often used in banishing spells. If you're trying to remove a particular person or an energy from your life, you might use a black candle like that. And then pile number 3 is partnered with this little sage bundle with the lavender. Sage in a bundle like this is often used to clear your home or clear your own energetic system of low vibrational energy. And lavender is used to calm our nerves, but it can also really help you when you're sleeping so that you can not only connect with your guides through your dreams, but also remember what they told you. So I'm going to give you guys a close-up of the items and the cards in just a second, and I will see you at your pile. Hi, pile number 1, welcome back. So you picked the amethyst, and I'm going to be looking into, are you cursed and how can you remove this hex? Let's find out what cards you've got. So to start off with, you've got Agape, followed by freedom, family, happiness, and there's Gemini on this card, the fire symbol, the number 15, which reduces down to the number 6, followed by crystals, healing, vision, 3 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, 2 of Pentacles, and engagement ring. Engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. Okay, so pile number 1. There is 2 energies that I am seeing through these cards. So to start off with, I think one of the major influences in your life that has left you feeling like you might be cursed is your family. I feel like there has been possibly intergenerational trauma. So that is basically a process where people have experienced pain in their life. There's been traumatic events that have taken place for them, possibly traumatic events that have taken place for their whole generation, like generations that have to go and see war, or there is a lot of discrimination against your ancestors, and they are dealing with that pain in their own way, but not necessarily getting to the heart of what the issue is to resolve it and fully heal. And they end up then making decisions in terms of parenting and being a role model that comes from that place of pain, and that then influences the next generation and can actually pass on that trauma to the next generation. And that just continues until finally somebody stops, deals with the trauma and the pain, resolves it, releases it, and the chain is broken. So this intergenerational trauma occurs, and every family is touched by this to a certain degree. And so you may have experienced this, like I said, because there was something going on that was outside of your family's control. But this could also be talking about, secrets. It can be things that nobody wants to talk about. It's just in the closet. Everyone sort of knows what it is, but it's all hush hush. And this may have really, really hurt you, because I think it changes the way that people communicate within the family when there's that kind of secrecy. Now, some of you may have grown up in households where there was like narcissistic energy, narcissistic tendencies. And if you grew up in a family like that, you may have had to sort of walk on eggshells. You had to sort of like anticipate other people's moods and feelings without them verbalizing it to you. And that can really shift and change the way that we not only see relationships with other people, but also how we see ourselves. And that energy is strongly coming forward, especially with this freedom card, because the card says freedom, but this woman is in a cage. And I feel like you have a natural tendency to love and heal others. I think you have very healing energy. You did get the crystal healing card. And this agate card is talking about unconditional love. And I feel like you have been this soft place for other people to land probably your entire life. And I think as a result of that, you learn to give unconditionally of self, and you may even define yourself by that role. That might be a strong part of your identity, where you see yourself as the support, the healer, the nurturer that everyone can come to. But I think that to a certain degree, that can be a curse. Because I think that there's been people in your life that have really taken you for granted, and they don't value what you bring to their life, the support and the healing that you bring to their life. They may cut you down as a result of that as well. I mean, in some cases, especially if you've had narcissistic family members, they will not necessarily be truthful about their feelings. So they might project onto you, and every awful thing they're feeling about themselves, they then project onto you and tell you that you're the problem. And if you have one family member that's narcissistic, there's a really good chance that you have more than one. You might be the black sheep of the family. You're not like anybody else. And they may all be bickering with each other, but the one thing they all agree on is that you're the problem. And that is not truth. I want you to know that. Like, they're all agreeing on having an issue with you is not a sign that there's something wrong with you, but you might have been internalizing that, as you would, of course, right? If enough people tell you something, you're going to start believing them. But the reason they're all saying that is because of this healing energy. And they have this darkness or this wound inside them. And Spirit wants us to heal those wounds. That's partially why we're here, to face our own self-limiting beliefs and any of our ego and overcome it and release it so that we can work towards unconditional love and healing energy. The fact that you have those abilities is already a sign that you're an older soul. but that's going to be very triggering to your family members. And so they will definitely point the finger at you. Now, the other reason that this is negative and painful for you is that it changes your expectations of relationships. So it doesn't just end with family. You find yourself being able to make yourself happy with very little, which is beautiful, right? You are a glass half full kind of person with this happiness card. It doesn't take a lot to make you happy. You know, you just like the simple things in life, maybe, or, you know, you like fancy things, but you can make do with, you know, just things that are, you know, the staples of life. Like, you know, if you can go out for a really fancy dinner, amazing. But if you're just cooking at home, you're just as happy with that. Like, you don't need to have luxuries to be happy. You don't need to have status to be happy, which is beautiful. And when you're in a position where you're completely empowered, you're going to be unstoppable, because that energy is going to help you to magnetize all kinds of blessings towards you. But at this stage of the game, I don't think you're necessarily seeing yourself or other people clearly. I think that you're still seeing yourself as potentially flawed, or there's something wrong with you. Now, we all have things that we want to improve, right? Every one of us has things that are weaknesses, but they're not flaws. There are things that we're still working on improving, and everything about you is beautiful. Everything about you is potentially the catalyst for great beauty and change. Great art comes from people exploring their own self-limiting beliefs or their own pain, right? So everything that you don't like about yourself could potentially be that thing that, like, you know, tips the scales for you in terms of your success. Think about all of the people that have, like, built up their own sort of profiles based on what makes them unique and different. They're representing particular communities, and, you know, maybe they always felt like ashamed that they had a particular, you know, like, there's a lot of things that are coming forward, whether it's being neurodivergent or whether it's being part of, you know, the body positivity movement, or your LGBTQ, or your BIPOC, or whatever it is that you may have had, you know, mixed feelings about in the past. Now you embrace it, and that is the thing that takes you to the next level. But all of those people that got to that point where they took it to the next level, they had to release all of the, you know, self-limiting beliefs and all the attachments that they had to people's opinions that kept them in a place of disempowerment. But I think that right now you're still sort of believing what these people are saying. And as a result of that, you may also be making decisions about the other people that you let into your life. And you may be accepting poor treatment that is totally undeserved because you're not necessarily seeing it accurately. The Three of Pentacles can be talking about our friends. It can also be talking about collaborations. So this could also be talking about work colleagues. And so you may be in a position where you're either at a company that really doesn't value you or treats you really badly. It's like a toxic work environment. Or you're trying to collaborate with people that don't respect you or see you as an equal. Maybe they're trying to just use you, right? Like, you do have this desire to heal, but there's a fine line between wanting to heal and wanting to please. And sometimes if you're in a dynamic where you're with sort of like toxic family members, we gain a sense of self based on pleasing other people, because it's like, there's talking, my guides are saying intermittent reinforcing. So that's a situation where maybe you had a family member that was loving to you one second and then they were cold and distant the next, or they were angry the next, and then they were loving and then they were cold or angry, and you never knew what you were going to get. So it's this cycle that you end up getting sort of addicted to, and it's a way of causing you to become sort of this people pleaser, right? They're training you to always make sure that you're mindful of their needs and desires before anything else. And that is really, really, really sad. And lots of people grow up with family members, especially their primary caregivers, your parents, or maybe it's another caregiver that was supposed to be putting you first and they forced you to put them first. And it's really sad because then you get used to that kind of behavior, and then you may do that in work environments. Then you may also be doing this in love relationships, because the Two of Pentacles can be talking about that kind of partnership. And of course, the engagement ring card is talking about that as well. And I think that you, as this healer, I would say that you likely are able to see a person's potential. So you look at them and you can just read in their energy everything that they would be amazing at, and you can see where they could open up doorways for themselves to create happiness and abundance and community, and how they could like live their dreams, and you might try and motivate them or encourage them, and initially they might really be on board with it. Oftentimes it's like in that honeymoon phase when you're just starting to get to know someone and like everything about them is exciting and unique. But the shine sort of fades after a while, especially if you are looking to that other person to sort of hold you up on a pedestal. And so these people may have been looking to you to put them on a pedestal. And the minute you started saying, hey, what about this or what about that, they took it to heart and they felt attacked or like you were critiquing them, when in reality, you're just channeling the information that's naturally coming through to you. You're like, why don't you do this or why don't you try that? And they feel all this pressure to heal or change or adjust, and they may lash out at you, right? The Hierophant is talking about being the teacher or the guide, but there is a raven on this card, and that is connected to the underworld and the shadow, and there's literally lightning coming down. And I associate lightning in terms of the tarot with the tower. That's what brings the tower down. You may not be saying anything critical to these people at all, but they are so sensitive that they take it so harshly, and you may not even see it at all. Like you feel like you're being so positive and upbeat, and they just feel like you tore their heart out. And you have this unconditional love. And so when they come back and they're angry at you for whatever you've said or done, you don't question that. You just think, oh, well, obviously I'm in the wrong. I apologize. I'm sorry. And you just take it at that, and then you adjust your behavior. But they're not adjusting their behavior. And the reality is you're not the one that's having to change in this dynamic. They're the ones that need to modify. And sometimes when that's the case, we have to be honest with what the circumstances are. We have to just accept that maybe they're not ready, and maybe they're not gonna be ready in this lifetime or in a reasonable time frame. And now I need to reassess and be honest with myself about what my expectations are and what my desires are and what I want in life. You may have to adjust your vision. And for some of these people, that might mean that you're like, okay, well, I'm never going to have that strong relationship with my mom that I wish that I would have. She just doesn't know how to unconditionally love. She doesn't know how to accept me for who I am. She doesn't know how to give back. It's a one-sided relationship. She's always going to be my mom, and I understand that. So we're just going to have a relationship that's very casual, and I'm not going to rely on her for that, comfort and nurturing support. I'm going to lean on other people, chosen family, to play that dynamic. And, with some of these friends that are doing the same thing, well, I'm not going to play that role anymore. I'm going to put up a boundary and really like stop myself from going all the way in and fixing all of the problems and see what happens. You might be shocked that those people immediately get up and leave. It'll be very painful if that happens, but you should be grateful because those people were never your friends. If they were your friends, they would want to be around you, you know, just the same. You respecting yourself and your limitations shouldn't be the straw that broke the camel's back. And relationships, the same thing. You should be able to have healthy boundaries with someone and be able to dedicate time and energy to nurturing self. And they should also be there for you the same way that you're there for them. And you may have to go through sort of a transition period where some of the people that are maybe not healthy for you have to leave your life so that new energy can come in. And that might be very difficult. But I would start off with writing down a diary. This was really helpful to me when I was trying to figure out, like, am I just, reading into this? Like, am I being fair to these people, or are they misleading me, or are they projecting onto me? And what I did was I wrote down a list of what they told me they would do for me and what their actions actually were. And I compared those over a period of time. And I was shocked at how clear it was. Once I wrote it down on paper, it was like, oh, here's like 25 different things that they promised me and they did 2. Like here it was on paper. I couldn't deny the fact that no, it wasn't all in my head. I was putting in all of the effort and they couldn't even be bothered to, return an email or return a phone call. And it was hard because in my case, and it might be the same for you, it was almost everyone because I grew up in a family with narcissistic people. And so it was pretty much almost everyone that had to shift out of my life. And that was very isolating and very painful. But it brought so many rewards, and so I have so much gratitude for it now because I really know my worth, and I feel like that can be yours as well. Even though all of this energy would definitely feel like a curse, what I feel like is going on is you are working through a karmic lesson. And once it's learned, once you learn, hey, I'm picking up on things that other people aren't. I'm seeing the potential in people that they don't actually have the ability to manifest at this particular point in time. And I am a very unconditionally loving person, so I can't allow other people to define who I am because they won't necessarily be fair to me. I have to define who I am for me, and I have to have boundaries that help me to stay grounded and healthy. And then when my cup is full, then I can give to others, right? Put your oxygen mask on first, then to help others with their oxygen mask. And then this energy will start to dissipate and move out of your life to a certain degree. Now, like I said before, some of you are dealing with toxic family members, or you're dealing with, this could be like your husband or your wife. It could be a dynamic with someone you can't just like necessarily move away from. And right now you need to get clarity. So let's find out what is actually going on. Like what, okay. Yes, root chakra. You need to get grounded and centered. So step number 1, I would say, is start doing grounding exercises that are going to help you to get over the anxiety. Like I feel a lot of anxiety and like a pit in my stomach. Like I feel sick to my stomach. Like you are so nervous about what is going to happen next. And if you can start to meditate, I would really recommend that. There are so many great guided meditations on YouTube. So try and look up a grounding exercise on YouTube. Like literally put that into the search bar and see what comes up. And if you don't like the first one you try, move on to another one. They won't all be great and they won't all be terrible. Sometimes I have to like watch 4 or 5 different videos like before I find one that I really like. But it's free and it's a great place to start. You can also work with grounding crystals. This is really coming forward. Red jasper, which helps you to make decisions based on like doing the right thing for the right reason. So you're not just doing something to appease someone else. You're doing this because it's the right step forward for you. It helps to ground your energy. It can also be very protective. So I would recommend maybe some red jasper. What else can you tell me about pile number 1 and their curse? What do they need to be doing in order? Oh, here we go. Yes, you got earth. Nurture nature. Yes, and you got ether, the seamless, unspeakable. You definitely have very strong intuition. You are able to read between the lines. And like I said, I feel like you have people that are gaslighting you in every area of your life. And right now, you really need to nurture yourself and go back to Gaia is what I want to say. The earth can be your greatest teacher, your greatest mother, your greatest nurturer. Like when I felt all on my own, it was nature that came in and healed me. It was walking around my neighborhood and realizing, oh my God, there's little miracles and synchronicities happening all around me. And it was, seeing the same bird over and over and over again, or seeing, other, beautiful plants or other animals. Like it can be the gateway to the miracles, right? The synchronicities, the real magic can start off with the simplest things. And I feel like you're going to see it because you have this happiness glass half full energy, but you're so distracted by what's going on with other people because I feel like you think that that's your role. And it is. That's the other thing that comes out with this kind of energy. Your role is to be a healer, but you have to recognize that to be that healer, you have to work with the people that want to be healed. And that was the game changer for me. When I stopped trying to force help on people that didn't want it, and I allowed them to drift out of my life, and I started working on my own gifts and skills, and the people that needed the healing just naturally gravitated towards me. I didn't make a decision to start this business. The business built up around me and I embraced it because I finally knew I had found my calling. It was the avenue that was going to allow me to use my healing capabilities, but with people that actually wanted my help. And I'm so grateful for all of you for helping me to be able to do that and fulfill my purpose here when I share these messages with you. Yes, you got the 8 of Cups. It's time for you to walk away from things that no longer serve you. And some of these things you've put time and energy into. You've dedicated time and energy into relationships with some of these people. Or it could be like I was saying, like it might be a job or you've started a collaboration with someone and it just isn't working out the way you want. But the truth is that if you can walk away from this, new blessings will come into your life. Yes, you got the 9 of Cups. All of this beautiful abundance is going to start flowing into your life. This is a card of true gratitude. Really feeling fulfilled in every area of your life and like looking around you and just seeing like all of the beauty and the love that has been missing. Honestly, it's been very much missing. Yes, the 8 of Swords. You have been in this prison of your own making. This freedom card really speaks to this same energy where, yes, there are people that are definitely being toxic towards you, without a doubt. Like I said, I feel like the energy of the curse is coming from outside of you, with your family, your friends, your love relationships, your co-workers, all of that outside of you. But it's also coming from within, right? Now, you can't change them. That's the thing, right? Wouldn't it be nice if we could just change the way that people think and act and everything would be different? But we don't have any control over them. They have control because they have free will, just like you have free will. So exercise your free will. Make a decision that's going to change your comfort level. Be brave. Start to just work on getting yourself grounded, really knowing who you are and what you want. Maybe write down a manifestation list, like the things that you want to achieve, and then start the shadow work that you might need, right? Through the meditations, there might be some shadow work that comes up. Feel the feelings, allow it to release. There's lots of different practices that you can use to work through the shadow. I have a lot of content that talks about shadow work on my channel, so you could look at some of my other readings as well. But it all starts there. But I feel like once you release that energy, it's going to be so fast. And you're going to find yourself in this 9 of Cups energy because, like I said, you're naturally this happy person. This was card number 6. Remember, all you need to do is find balance. So when can they start to, whoop, okay. Basically, what I was going to ask is when can you start to see a change in the energy? And you got emotions are running high, super moon, and you got conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. So there is that's a new moon eclipse that we're coming up to. But basically, the energy is building for you. And I think that if you can sort of get a hold of your own emotions, start to like self-soothe and start to practice like emotional regulation techniques, then you're going to be able to see the doorway. You're going to see the conclusion, because I feel like that's what's going to be happening for you. A doorway will open up to you, a new opportunity. And it may be literally you making some sort of change where it's like taking a different action, but it could be you opening yourself up to thinking about things in a different way. Just opening yourself up to the idea that maybe the problem isn't you can literally change everything. It can end up being like this domino effect where it's like all of the dominoes fall down and you're like, it can be a little bit painful once you realize that, but it will also liberate you. So let's get some final advice from your guides on what you should do to release this energy. Oh boy, you got lots. Okay. Let's see. So, achievement, win the award, accolade, or contract. So, is there something that you've been really wanting to achieve, something you've really wanted to do? Start working on that. Start thinking about that. Start sort of daydreaming about it. Try and keep yourself in a high vibrational state where you're really focusing on the perfect outcome. What do you want to achieve? Now, maybe you don't have any goals right now, and then this is a clean slate. Start thinking of what might you want to do. Try and not limit yourself, because the universe is abundant. Opportunities will fall into your lap in the most unexpected ways. If you are open to it, I promise you, weird stuff will happen. And like I said, I didn't even make a decision to really like have this be a career choice for me or have a practice. It just sort of happened. And that can happen for you too, but you have to be clear on what you would like to be doing in this world. Now, obviously it has something to do with healing, but what aspect of healing are you most interested in? Have you always wanted to, work at a crystal shop, or you've always wanted to learn acupuncture, or you've always wanted to become a dietitian. Like, where do you want to take this healing ability of yours? And then write it down, and then, keep revisiting that in the highest vibrational way you can. Dragonfly, you bring light to the world. You absolutely do. That is why so many people are attracted to you. It's your healing light. It draws them in, but you have to be mindful that it's like moths to a flame. Moths are traditionally connected back to that shadow energy, the things that we have to release because they are nocturnal. They're awake during the night. So you're the light in the darkness. So you have to be mindful, and I know it kind of sucks because you have to sort of have your boundaries up, but it gets, you get used to it, and it isn't something to be sad about, but you might have to be sort of apprehensive of people when they first come into your life. Triple spiral, listening to the divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. Like I said, this is a lesson for you, one that you're going to master 100%. I definitely feel like you're at the precipice of major change. It's just, for some of you, maybe you just really needed someone to articulate this and really validate your experience. You might have already been thinking, like, there is something up with these people. I don't know why they all think this way, and I think this other way, and I just want us to all be happy and come together and work together, and they are like, scheming behind each other's backs, but still everyone's miserable. It's because they're not ready, right? And you are. So start walking towards the exit. You don't need to stay in the darkness anymore. Insight, open the third eye to strengthen intuition. Yes. Maybe start working on some meditations that specifically help you open up your third eye. One of the things you can do is sit in meditation and just focus on this point in your meditation, like you're visualizing your third eye, and you can visualize it any way you want. You can visualize it as literally an eye that is opening on your forehead. You can visualize it as the chakra, like a spinning vortex of light that's going right through your head. You can visualize it as a cave, like whatever you want, but you want to visualize it being clear and open. So if it's a cave, there's nothing blocking the entrance. There's no cobwebs. There's nothing there. You can see all the way through. That is going to strengthen that connection that you have. Then you got one enchanted evening, the perfect night. Ooh, that's exciting. So maybe these conclusions are within reach. This might be indicating that there's some major breakthrough that you're going to have, something very abundant. And you did get this achievement, win the awards, accolades, or contract. So maybe there is something that you've been waiting on that might just be that breakthrough that you need to start working on your own thing. Then you got Felix Felicitas, power symbol to create lucky serendipitous events. Start manifesting. Manifest, manifest, manifest. All the things that you want. Write it down, script it, visualize it. Listen to sleep affirmations that are talking about the same thing that you would like to come into your life. Paint pictures of it. Write songs about what you want. There's lots of different ways you can manifest, but ultimately you just need to have faith that it can be yours. Abracadabra with wings, fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. If you can visualize what you want, then you can open yourself up to the portal being open to you. I feel like this major breakthrough is going to come through to you. But like I said, I'm being reminded to tell you this once again. Like I said before, you can't control someone else's behavior. So if your goal is, I'd really like to have a really healthy, balanced love relationship, and you're in a relationship right now with someone who doesn't meet your needs and is behaving sort of toxically, there's no guarantee that that person will shift and change. The universe might fulfill your ambition and your manifestation by drifting you away from this other person that you're in a relationship with and introducing you to someone else that can have that kind of relationship with you. So not basically like redirection is spirit protection. Spirit will have to move you into alignment with what you actually want, and that might mean that you lose some things, but in the long run you're going to be so much happier as a result. This is very positive energy and I'm very excited for you. I would love to know what your thoughts on the reading were, so leave me a comment below if you could like and subscribe to the channel 100%. If this is your first time here, I would love to have you as part of the family. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings live and recorded. I do spiritual coaching, Reiki, past life readings, and I also do channeled messages from your spirit guides. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 2, welcome back. So you picked the black candle and the mirror piece, and I'm going to be looking into, are you cursed and how can you remove this hex? So let's find out what cards you've got. So to start off with, we've got the Cave, followed by financial health, well-being, the affection card with the fire symbol, Taurus, and the number 12, which reduces down to the number 3. Then you have pendulum, decision, stability, 2 of Wands, Mother of Cups, and the butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, and growth. All right, so pile number 2. What is strongly coming forward is I feel like right now you are at a crossroads. That's what the 2 of Wands is talking about. You are trying to make a decision like the pendulum card is suggesting. And I think that you are sort of torn between 2 worlds. And there are aspects of yourself that are coming forward right now that are sort of being ripped out of you that are causing you a lot of discomfort, and it might actually feel like you're cursed. What's coming forward is that I think that for the majority of your life, possibly until very recently, you were very happy to go along with the plans that possibly you had set out for yourself, but the plans that maybe your parents set out for yourself or the expectations of society in terms of your career and your financial health. I think that you were fully on board with, the general idea of getting a job that's going to pay you a really high salary and possibly, working your way up within that company or making sure that you're networking with the right people. And you were fully embracing I just heard corporate ladder. So you were fully embracing that process of working your way up possibly to a corner office and getting like a great salary and really like putting all of your time and energy into your work. This literally says, this card, my eye just got pulled down and it says extra bonus. Yeah. Working really, really hard to be able to get a bonus or, get a title, have more responsibility, but like working your way up that way. But I think that you were sort of sacrificing a certain part of yourself. I think that you were focusing on having stability, and that stability, I think you thought, would bring you a sense of peace and contentment, and that it would dissolve your fear. And you kept moving down this path and you were getting the raises, you were getting the success, you were moving towards your goals, but it wasn't filling you up. It wasn't taking away the fear. It wasn't filling that hole that I feel like you have to a certain degree inside you. The Mother of Cups and the Cave is leaning towards this idea of something being sort of kept in the dark or something not being fulfilled, because obviously a cave is like this dark space. And the affection card is really leaning towards the shadow as well. I feel like although you went along with sort of like a conventional plan for your life, I think deep inside there are passions that you have in life that you really wish that you could pursue more on a day-to-day basis, and possibly even full-time, like convert your passion into your I just heard convert your passion into your purpose. So you may be wanting to really be able to live each day by making money off of your life purpose, the thing that fills you up the most, the thing that you do that not only heals you but heals others. But you feel like there isn't enough stability in that, and that it would be sort of silly and reckless to follow your dreams. But as a result of that, I think that it makes you feel quite empty, like you're just not being nurtured enough. And I think that you fought this off for a really long time, but I think that to a certain degree, you're being forced out of the darkness. You're being forced to start being honest about yourself. And I think it's because you're no longer able to mask, is the energy I'm getting. Like, whereas before you might have been able to feign interest in, you know, what was going on in work or what was going on with other people that you associate with, mainly because you're trying to like make a good impression and you're trying to like keep yourself in their good books and you're trying to network and work your way up. And now it's like you feel like you're dying a little bit inside by having to go through and do the things that are required by society for you to be able to get your payday. And you're feeling cursed because it's like, is this going to be my life forever? Am I just doomed to either be poor and fulfill my passions, or feel like I'm living this life of drudgery where I'm like dying a little bit inside, having to go to work each day, but I'm making money? Now, there may also be part of you that you're keeping secret and you're not revealing who you truly are to the people that you're close with. And it might be a situation where the curse energy is like, you know that if you came out and you revealed who you truly are, you would lose status or you would lose connection with some of these people. And to a certain degree, you don't even want to admit it to yourself. Like, you don't even want to look yourself in the mirror. But it's like constantly eating away at you. And it's like your own inner child is wanting to dance out into the sunlight, is what I'm being guided to say. And the only way for you to get to a place of well-being is for you to nourish your own soul. You know, you need to truly start to become in partnership, not only with your, you know, the other people in your life, but also like with your guides and your higher self, because you're here to fulfill a specific purpose. And I feel like your intuition has been telling you this. Like, it's like there's a bird on your shoulder, like whispering things in your ear, but you're like, I don't even want to entertain that, because you know it's going to change everything. And it's so terrifying to you to think about that. Like, who will you be if you make that leap of faith? And it feels like it's a dramatic shift that's going to be taking place for you, or you're being guided towards, and you don't want to go there. You really, really, really don't. It's too scary. And, you know, it might be a situation where you are leaning into your spiritual gifts and it's like something that you kept completely secret, but you can't because you're starting to experience more spiritual experiences. You know, like maybe this is one example. Maybe you're a medium and you always had this sense of spirits around you, but now people's deceased loved ones are literally coming up to you and talking to you, and you like cannot shy away from it. You can't ignore it. And there's part of you that's like, I'm cursed because now there's all of this spirit energy around me all the time. I'm terrified. Am I going to contact the wrong energies? Like, can these be trusted? Are they good? Are they evil? I just want to be a normal person. I just want to go to my regular job and be happy with my regular day-to-day life. I don't want to have to deal with all of this other, I'm hearing spooky stuff. I totally get that. If that's your situation, I can definitely understand. It is very unsettling. And it definitely will take you out of one world and it pushes you into another world where you may not know anyone, right? You might not have any spiritual friends, but you're going to solve the mystery. My eye was just drawn down to this. It says solve the mystery and win the prize. Yes, you're going to solve this. Like whatever you're being guided towards, it might be scary right now, but it's like you're going to realize that all of the things that you're afraid of that are in the shadows, whether that is like literally spiritual stuff like the example I gave, or whether that is just your own desires, that once you allow them to come out into the light, you're going to be able to fly, right? You're transforming into a butterfly. You're no longer going to be stuck on the ground. You're going to be able to fly. You're going to be able to see things from a higher perspective. And I think that you're going to have like the passion and connection with other people that get you, that you're really missing. And I feel like it's been sort of gnawing away at you for a while now, this sort of like feeling that you needed to go in another direction, but now it's like strong passion and drive that's like pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and you just can't seem to like ignore it any longer. Let's find out a little bit more about this. Like, what is this curse that is affecting that's affecting pile number 2? What's the curse that's affecting pile number 2? Oh, okay. Wow, so you just got the Queen of Cups again. So let me just see here what we got. And the King of Cups. Oh. Oh my God, and the World. Okay, yeah. So the energy that I get is that you have crafted a particular life for yourself. Like I said, you are the Queen of Coins, and you may or may not identify as being a woman. It's this energy is genderless. It's just that the tarot suits are divided. They are gendered, but you are the embodiment of somebody who is able to create wealth for themselves and a lot of stability, and you have diligently worked towards all of the, you know, material rewards that you have now, or the titles, or whatever it is that you thought was going to bring you great satisfaction and joy. But then you got there after 7 of Wands, after working diligently and really having to, like, I feel like you really had to stand your ground. You had to go up against people. Like, you had to work hard to get to the point that you're at now. But now I feel like you're being redirected by spirit to go in an entirely different direction. 8 of Wands, fast-paced change into alignment. You are seeing what life could be, but you honestly do not want to deal with it. Ace of Swords. This is a brand new beginning, new thoughts, new ways of communicating, and it's all connected back to your inner child, who you were when you were small, what you wanted to achieve. Maybe it was a situation where you decided that you were going to become a dentist because that's a very stable, high-paying job, but secretly you wanted to be writing plays and you wanted to be producing stage performances and you wanted to be a creative. You didn't want to be a dentist at all. It just was maybe you come from a family that worked in the dental field, or your parents thought, oh, that's this good stable job, and that you just pursued that. But now it's like these inner desires are bubbling up to the surface and you're trying to deny that it's even happening. But I feel like if you can start to lean into, because this is in reverse, you're trying to ignore that this is even happening. If you can start to lean into this energy, you may find that you can find cohesion, is what's coming forward. You will find cohesion between both sides of your own nature. You might be so shocked that you end up finding that there are things about the other people in your life that you have a lot in common with them, but they were keeping the same desires hidden. Or you find that you are the one that's going to have this breakthrough. You're going to create something that's a hybrid, something new, that you don't necessarily have to give up everything that you had in order to embrace what you truly want. It might be a situation where the wheel of fortune turns in your favor, you end a cycle, you got the World card, and now all of the experience that you've had over your life, all of the different twists and turns that you have taken on this road to where you are now, were all valuable pieces of insight and wisdom that you're going to now gather together to create something brand new. Maybe you decide that you're going to, have a little side hustle, or all of a sudden you end up aligning with someone that gives you a great opportunity to volunteer or collaborate or do something on this side. It might just start off small. You might just need to, at this particular point in time, allow spirit to guide you. Because what I think your guides are asking you to do is to start finding the emotional balance for self. At least start opening yourself up to being honest with yourself about who you're rejecting. What are the things about yourself that you keep hidden from other people, and why do you keep them hidden? Is it because you're afraid that people won't accept you if you are authentic about who you truly are or what your desires are? And if that's the case, why do you think that? Try and dive in deeper, not to shame yourself. I'm just encouraging you to really understand what is between you and the fulfillment that you desire. Because what is coming out in the cards is that you have all of these gifts and talents that are not in alignment with the life that you're currently leading. You have fear about resolving them. Interesting. I wanted to say reveal them, but resolve them. So there might be some pain or trauma from the past, things that are sort of associated with your deepest desires that you haven't resolved yet. So it might be a situation where maybe you were burned in the past in terms of love, and you've just dedicated all of your energy towards your career, and you're just not going to think about love at all. But you're being called to start healing the wounds from the past because there is a brand new relationship that's coming towards you. That is a strong possibility for some of you. Now, for others of you, because you did get the 9 of Cups, there's people in an embrace in this card. the world, they're in an embrace as well. And then of course you got the Queen and King of Cups, their divine counterparts. So for some of you, it might be you getting over your own fear and sort of healing the wounds of the past, but it might not have anything to do with love. It might be a situation where you always wanted to be an actor and you tried that. You lived in New York, or you lived in LA, or you live somewhere where there's opportunities in that field, and you auditioned and you tried out and you tried to get an agent and you did all those things and nothing came of it. And so then you just decided, okay, well, I'm going to go and become a lawyer. I'll do corporate law. That'll be the closest I ever get to performing, just working for other performers. And that's not necessarily the case. There might be a situation that you needed to be in, some sort of experience that you had to have on your pathway to now. And now that you have this stability, you're able to pivot to a certain degree where you're able to have both, because you've got the Six of Wands, which is talking about victory, public recognition, and then I mentioned before the Nine of Coins. So this is luxury and abundance and really feeling gratitude and feeling like all of your material needs are met. I feel like you think that you might potentially be, walking into the belly of the beast and everything is going to, fall apart for you. But in reality, Spirit is saying, no, just listen to us for a second. Just try and explore this. All we're asking is just look at what it is that created all of this passion for you in the past. And through that exploration, just looking at who you were in the past or looking at the things about yourself that you reject, a doorway will be opened up to you. There'll be some sort of clarity that you get in your own mind, and that will give you a breakthrough that helps you to balance out the two worlds, is the energy I get. That you'll be able to do the practical and hustle, and also be able to fulfill the creative and the emotional side of yourself. Let me get a bit more information about, what else can you tell me about this curse? What do they need to know about the curse? Oh my God, you got the unique gifts card. Full spectrum. Oh my God. I do think that for many of you, this has to do with spiritual gifts. And you're like, am I a crazy person? Am I insane? This is weird. All this stuff is happening. Maybe, and like all the thoughts go through your head where you're like, well, maybe I just had a nervous breakdown. And like you're Googling like, when do people typically have a mental breakdown, and you're like trying to diagnose yourself, all of that stuff. And you have beautiful spiritual gifts, whether it's spiritual, possibly this is creative gifts. Regardless, you have unique gifts. And this is coming out and it's bubbling up to the surface at exactly this moment right now for a reason, because now is the time for you to go through a great change, for you to fall into alignment with your destiny. And I'll tell you, when this happened to me, it was so nerve-wracking. Not only, I had always had my psychic gifts, always, my entire life, but they started to increase dramatically where I couldn't ignore it. And all of a sudden, doorways started to be opened up to me. Now, it was all happening simultaneously for me with a tower moment. So I was losing a lot as well as I was gaining a lot. And it was very scary. And there was definitely moments where I was like, okay, because I'm under so much stress from this tower moment and the things that are being lost, and I'm like going through an ego death, am I just crazy? Like, am I just losing my mind? And this has nothing to do with spirit? And I just had to surrender. And over time, it was clear what was happening. It was very clear that I was meant to like pivot and go in a different direction. And I ended up using all of the gifts and skills that I had cultivated with my previous life. You know, like you guys know, I draw all of my own thumbnails, and I, you know, built my own website, and I do all of my photography, and I do all of my video editing, all of that stuff. And all of that I'm capable of doing because of the experience that I had in my old field when I was doing graphic design and I was doing fashion. So even though I don't do fashion design anymore, I didn't lose any of the things that I loved about that field. I'm still creative, but in a different way. And I'm able to embrace my gifts on a deeper level. And so for you, it may have nothing to do with psychic abilities. It might be you always wanting to be a musician and be able to do that full time, and you just start writing, and then you start connecting with other people, and then maybe you start performing, or you start writing songs for other people that are performing. Like, you have no idea how this may manifest for you, but the energy is trust. Trust us. You are coming into alignment, full spectrum. This is talking about a death, but also a rebirth where you have complete alignment of all aspects of yourself. There's the 7 primary chakras on this card, which coincide with the 7 colors of the rainbow, the full spectrum of who you are. There's a Merkaba, which is also talking about complete balance and is connected back to the Archangel Metatron, who guides us. Metatron is the archangel that takes care of the earthly realm. So you're being called to step into your life purpose. You're terrified about walking away from your old life. You don't want something different. You want to be happy with what you always were happy with, but that ship has sailed, my friend. I know that it's scary, and I know that you would love to be able to stay with being the person that you were, but that's only because you're in a state of fear right now because you don't know what you're becoming. But if you can trust that Spirit always has your back, no matter what, this is all going to work out in your favor. You can enjoy the ride. No one is saying that you have to give up the stability of what you've already had yet. Just go with the flow. You don't need to figure it all out. The gifts that you need and the energy you need to be able to flow with Spirit is dramatically different than the skills that you used when you were building your career or whatever your life has been up to this point. That is a totally separate set of rules. In the traditional world of like capitalism, all you need to do is like play the role that you were assigned. You know, you work hard, you play hard, you make lists, you check things off, you diligently go. It's this like, there was Taurus on this card. It's this stubborn Taurus. I'm going to work through any problem. I'm never going to give up. I'm just going to keep my eye on the prize and steadfastly overcome all of the barriers. But that isn't the way you're supposed to do it with Spirit. And it took me a long time to learn this. You need to surrender. And you will only know, I say this all the time, they will only tell you 2 or 3 steps. And it's the most terrifying thing ever. There's a reason why. In the major arcana, the first card is the Fool. And the Fool is about to step off a cliff. That's what it feels like. And you just gotta go with it. And it's so terrifying. And I don't know how I did it, but I did. And it's partially because I didn't have any other choice, because I had gone through a tower moment. And I don't feel like that's what your future is going to be. I feel like you're being guided towards a gentle transition. And maybe you've had a tower in the past, and that's what you're afraid of happening in the future. That is not what's going to happen. I feel like you are transitioning, and you're going to be able to have a partnership between who you were and who you will be. And it won't be like complete death of the old and the rebirth of the new, which can be very traumatic. But you have to trust and have faith that spirit is going to gently guide you forward, and that it can be joyful. It can be an uplifting, enlightening experience full of positivity. Don't try and figure out what's going to happen in 5 years, because you still have the financial health, the stability that you had from before. Have faith that that's stable. That's not going to shift. And then allow the magic to unfold in terms of whatever this new aspect of yourself is. When is this going to start to happen for pile number 2? Balance spirituality and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. That's exactly what I've been trying to illustrate. That's exactly what it is. That one card, and they're telling me to, don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Yes, this is all about you balancing out those two energies within you. You have to sort of allow spirit to take the wheel. You have to surrender your own need for control that I think has really helped you in so many aspects of your life. You have to understand that there's going to be an ebb and flow to the energy. The Pisces fish on this card, very reminiscent of the yin yang symbol, where there's going to be a constant flow of positive and negative energy. But even if you look at the yin yang, there's a black dot inside the white and vice versa. And it's talking about the fact that even when things are really good, there can still be something that is distasteful or something that's painful, right? We're constantly in flux, and we're constantly in a universe of duality. So don't focus on the little dot of black in the white. Focus on the sea of white. You know, there's always going to be something that's annoying or isn't working out the way we want. But before you know it, things might shift to being all black. Control your own mind. Think about what you want. Think about the positive outcome that you want, because the financial health or the stability or whatever it is that this financial health card is representing for you is going to be there with you. So don't ruin the journey by worrying that you're going to lose that. You're not going to lose that. You got the energy is gaining momentum. Nice. So things are definitely working out in your favor. Things are building. I think it's just a matter of you sort of finding that balance within. So what else can you tell me about pile number 2? What do they need to do to sort of get rid of this energy of the hex? How do they remove that energy? Okay. Okay, cool. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, to start off with, you got Trinkify, manifesting money and income. So the number 5 in tarot is often talking about conflict. You are conflicted about money. You're afraid that you're going to lose money, or maybe you don't have any money right now. And you're like, what is this lady talking about? I don't have the financial stability. That's what I'm worried about, because I keep trying to follow my passions and dreams and the money isn't there, but it will be there. It will be there. It's all about you figuring out who you want to be, what brings you the most abundance and joy, and being willing to make a decision to invest in yourself, to follow where your intuition is guiding you, because ultimately that is what's going to bring you the financial success and the well-being. Then you got Abracadabra with wings, fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. Yeah, something amazing is going to happen for you. It'll be like a miracle. And when those miracles come in, embrace them, enjoy them, celebrate them. Capitalism tells us that we need to keep moving forward to the next goal. No, you need to embrace and have gratitude for this blessing that's come in. Keep your vibration high, and then you're not only thanking the universal energies that are around you that made this happen, which is always a nice thing, but you're also making it clear to the universe that this is the energy I want to consistently be in. You're really cementing that into the physical so that more of that will come towards you. Star, the silver energy of the star brings good luck and serendipity. And I see the star, I always think of the North Star. That is a symbol of your divine purpose, your life purpose. So what is your heart calling you to do? Fire, the element of fire heralds new life, renewed passion, and positive transformation. And you got fire on the affection card as well. Yeah, and there's also on the Eight of Wands, the Raven is carrying a torch with fire. So yeah, what is it that you're most passionate about? Allow the fire to help you renew, right? Help you to rise up like the phoenix. Some stuff will be lost, but none of the stuff that's worth keeping will be lost. I promise you. It might feel like it at the time, but believe me, in the future, you'll be so grateful for the changes, and you'll look back and you'll think, oh, I get it. Yeah, I couldn't see it then, but now I see it. Now I'm grateful, or I understand, or I'm at peace with whatever had to go. Air, work with the element of air to cut through to the core of a situation and see the truth, which is this air card is mirroring this card, the Ace of Swords. You need to get clarity on what's going on. Like, what is the most important thing to you? What are you actually battling is what they want me to say. What is it that you're fighting against? Safe and happy travel, protection from harm when journeying. This feels like a message for all of the people that are sort of having their spiritual gifts awakened and they're afraid that they're going to connect with something negative. You're protected. You may have spooky situations. I did, especially in the beginning. But that's part of the lesson, because ultimately you have complete authority over your energetic field, your entire environment. That's why saging works, because you are completely declaring, this is my domain. You are not welcome. You are banishing them from your realm, if you will. So do that with everything. Set your intentions with everything so that you will not allow any low vibrational or toxic people into your life, not just the spiritual energies. And don't worry, you have your guides with you. They're watching over you at all times. Even if something a little bit spooky happens, you have to think, okay, this is spooky. What am I learning? And eventually you'll have a sense of humor about it. When it first started happening to me, and I had spooky stuff that was happening to me. Oh my God. So spooky. But now it's kind of like when that kind of stuff happens, it's kind of like a pesky younger sibling. Like, why are you bothering me? Kind of energy, you know? Okay, final card. Water. Work with the element of water for healing, purification, and refinement. Now, water has come through on numerous occasions with the Queen of Cups twice and the King of Cups coming out, and where was the Nine of Cups as well. So you need to really look within. What is your intuition? What is your heart telling you? And then maybe you want to actually work with the element of water, like the card says. Maybe you want to start having salt baths, or having, water around you can be very cleansing. Working with moon water. This is moon water. Just having it around you can be very therapeutic. Making sure you're drinking enough water too is really, really important, because obviously you want to flush out all of the actual toxins that are in your physical body. That will also help you feel balanced and clear. So that concludes your reading. I hope that this was helpful. I would love to know what your thoughts on the reading were. You can comment below. I love chatting with you guys. If you could like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please join the family. I would love to have you. And if anyone is interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings, spiritual coaching, Reiki. What else do I do? Mediumship with your spirit guides and past life readings. So this was a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next reading. Take care. Hi, file number 3, welcome back. So you picked the Sage bundle with the lavender, and I'm going to be looking into if you are cursed and how can you remove this hex. So let's find out what you have. So the first card is the thread, followed by boundaries, love, ritual with the earth symbol, the number 10, and Leo is on that card, of course, with the corn as well. Dreams, incubation, anxiety, Ace of Pentacles, then the 9 of Cups, and lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. So in this deck, this card is the Tower. So there is some major profound change that's coming into your life, and it is likely very unsettling. For some of you, you may have already gone through the major upheaval of the Tower. For others of you, you're going through it right now, and for some of you, you're hearing the rumblings. Like you can tell that something is about to shift and change, but you don't want to admit it to yourself. You don't want to acknowledge it because it's so terrifying to you. When the Tower falls, often it is a sign that we've built our lives on a faulty foundation. There is something that will no longer serve us, and it's time for it to be removed. But the Tower gets such a bad rap. People are so afraid of the Tower, including myself. It can be terrifying. I've gone through more than one Tower, but it's not fun. But most of the time, with enough time, you look back and you're like, oh my God, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it's the catalyst for the transformation, which is what this card is saying, that it's this sudden change, but it's going to be a transformation. And the Ace of Pentacles is talking about a brand new beginning in the physical world. So there is definitely something major shifting and changing in your life, exterior to you. So some of this curse energy is out of your hands. Oh my God, this card literally says the witch's curse on it. That's wild. So you likely feel like you are cursed, that bad things are happening for you and you have no control over how this will unfold. For many people, the whole shift and change that took place as a result of COVID and everything else that's been going on as a result of that was the Tower, right? That was the catalyst for the great change. And you may have been avoiding some major shift and change for quite a while now. I get the sense that it has something to do with you following your life plan. The thread is talking about our destiny, basically. So we all have a rough framework of what we are here to do, our life plan. It is the general storyline of the life that we're walking through. Now, we have free will, so it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. There's lots of different doorways that will open up to you, but there's major pivotal points that you have to hit. And if you are in jeopardy of missing one of those major transitions, the Tower comes in to course correct you, because we're all connected. And if you miss out on a major pivotal point of change, growth, or abundance, it could be a miracle, it will negatively affect not only you, but other people, because no one's living in a silo. Like, you are, whatever you achieve will affect other people as well. And I feel like you are feeling this tug. You know, there's something inside you that's saying all of this awful stuff is happening and all these shifts and changes are happening to me, and I think that I'm being called in this direction. But I feel like, to a certain degree, you have imposter syndrome. Even though I think your guides have told you through your intuition, because you got this dreams card, that there is something great that you're meant to participate in. There's something great that you're meant to possibly create. You are either totally in denial of this, or you're just resting on this idea. Like, you have the full idea, but you just don't want to take the next steps because you have a lot of anxiety. It's frightening, especially when the Tower comes in, because oftentimes when the Tower comes, it means that we're going to have to go through an ego death, which means that a lot of who you used to be, including like connections that you had from the past, will be swept away, or they'll be like dramatically transformed. So it's like not even the same at all. And that can be really scary because, you know, we all have a certain idea of who we are in our minds that helps sort of keep away the anxiety. So you may be battling that. You know, if you are not who you thought you always were, what is life at all? What are you going to do with the rest of your life? And what did all the relationships that you had in your life mean? And what does that mean for the future? And sometimes that question mark can be terrifying. One, it can be terrifying because we can fear that we're going to fail, but there can also be a fear of succeeding. What if I succeed? Then what do I do? What if it's a major success and I don't have the skills, or I don't have the abilities that I think I do, right? And I really feel like partially that's what you're going through. You have this fear not only of the failure, but you're also fearing the success. The Nine of Cups, but on this particular card, there is the Moon. So you are not wanting to even face that. You may also not even want to look at what that might look like for you, what you may want, because for some of you, you might be thinking, oh, I'll just be happy with whatever comes, because if I start thinking about what I want and I don't get it, then I'm going to be disappointed, and it will all be for nothing, and I'll just be so distraught. But for you to get what you actually want out of this situation, you have to have faith that the universe is leading you in the right direction, which you are, because the thread is talking about that. You're being guided in a particular direction towards the rainbow, the alignment of all of your chakras, all of your energies, the amalgamation of all of your life's experience coming together, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I get it. Now I understand why I liked that thing and I was drawn to that thing, and I want to spend all my time doing this other thing. Now, all of a sudden, all of these things that were all separate in my life that I had no idea why I was interested in, all of these different things, all of a sudden it all comes together and you birth something new. And you understand yourself on a deeper level than you ever have before. But to get to that point, you have to have faith in spirit, and you also have to start working through your own fears, your shadow, and start to erect strong boundaries. There may be a need for you to start clearing out all of the self-doubt and the fear that's just inside your own system. And, you know, reflecting on the past, maybe reflecting on this Tower moment, if this is already in the past for you guys. Like, what did you lose and what did that feel like? Sometimes we can be so afraid when we've gone through major pain, major loss, that we're afraid to look at it and really feel it, because we think if we go back and we feel it, what if we never recover? but you will recover. You'll recover and be stronger than you've ever been before because you'll find a place of love. You'll be able to look back with hindsight and say, man, was that ever painful. But look at how strong I am that I came through that. And look at all of the things that I learned from this situation, all of the skills that I gained through this experience, or the connections that I've made. And look at how I see myself now. I have this strong sense of self-love for self. And through all of that, that's when you're able to then start building a life where it's centered around what your true goals are, and then you can align yourself with abundance. Corn is a symbol of abundance, but corn is also one of those amazing plants that can be used to create so much. You know, corn is food. Corn is also used in construction to create materials, and like it is just such a amazingly diverse product. And you're going to be able to do that as well. You're going to be able to look at everything that you already have and how can I apply this to create my dreams, to make that a reality. And you are going to fall into alignment with your life purpose. It's number 10, which reduces down to the number 1, which is talking about being in alignment with your higher self and your life purpose, but also having an understanding of all of the cycles, all the cycles you've already completed. And then for those of you who are more spiritual and are in tune with your psychic abilities, and maybe you have a sense of who you are beyond who you are in this moment, like past life energy, you may also be able to tap into some of your past life gifts. And I always mention this when I'm doing past life readings for people, that we have so many gifts that we're bringing forward from past lives. But the reason it's not so obvious to you what gifts you have is because you have to remember that time is always ticking forward. You may have mastered a skill, but you mastered it in the 3rd century, and all of the technology is dramatically different. And we don't live a life that's anywhere remotely close to what you lived in the 3rd century. So you have to follow your intuition, because your guides are guiding you towards different experiences you'll have in this life that will reawaken you to what your natural abilities are. It's not important that you did it the same way you did it in the 3rd century. That's irrelevant, you know? Like, people have gifts where like they're amazing at creating woven tapestries or woven rugs. Like, you're probably not going to want to do that in this life, but that's not important whether you're making rugs and tapestries again. It's important that you recognize that you have an eye for composition and color, and you know how to balance patterns and shapes, and you know how to, you know, do fine handwork and like the hand-eye coordination aspect, and like all of that stuff is what's important, that you can visualize things. Then apply that to whatever it is that you love in this life, whether it's connected to like visual art, or maybe it's connected to like computers in some way, or like something entirely different. Just listen to what your intuition is telling you and start moving towards that. Start building in ritual into your life so that you can tap back into that part of yourself that knows your destiny, that knows where you're going. Because once you start to tap into that, then you're going to start getting more synchronicities. You'll have like all of these little blessings that happen in your life on a day-to-day basis that bring the whole picture into focus, and it starts to make more sense for you, where you start to think like, okay, now I get it. Like, you're not 100% of the way there yet. You don't need to be a master yet. You have to just surrender to where you're being called to, and know that when you get to your destination, you'll have everything that you need, right? You don't need to allow the anxiety to take over. Now, you don't have control over that right now, and that might be a situation where leaning into more of these rituals, meditating, really learning how to control your own energy field. So, like for myself, I have lots of anxiety. I battle it all the time because I'm also an empath, so I'm picking up other people's anxiety. And so I visualize it as smoke around me, and I blow the smoke away. I push it down. I push it into the earth, and I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. And now I can instantly just move that anxiety away from me. So you'll be able to do that too, but you're not going to be great at everything right away. You're going to have to practice, but that doesn't mean it isn't your destiny, right? There's going to be certain things that you instantly are just able to do, right? It's like I talk about child prodigies. They just like know how to do it. But there'll be other things that are key components that you're maybe mastering in this life, and you haven't quite put in all of the legwork that you need to get to that level of mastery, but it doesn't mean that it isn't your destiny. You're supposed to be learning new things, not repeating all of the past. And so we'll always be encouraged to step out of our comfort zone, is what I'm being told. So what else what else would you like pile number 3 to know about this curse? I feel like you truly feel like a lot of bad stuff has been happening to you, and it's all remnants of the tower is what I'm being told. So for many of you, you've already had the tower fall, and you're like, when is this going to be over? Oh boy, do I understand how that feels. It's awful, honestly, but but they're telling me to tell you what I do. So I just feel the feelings. When I get upset about it being like going on and on and on and on and on forever, it's like, when is this freaking tower energy going to be gone? I just allow myself to get upset or cry and take a break or, nap or whatever I need to do to get that energy out. And eventually now I'm at a point where now I know when I'm at that point, that's literally the moment that things are going to start shifting and changing, which is exactly what these cards are talking about. So you got the Ace of Coins, brand new beginning happening for you in the physical world. Things are actually going to start shifting and changing, and it all is hinging on you shifting the way that you think. Page of Swords followed by the Knight of Swords, and then you also got the Seven of Swords, and then completing this, you got the Queen of Coins. So you're working towards complete abundance and fulfillment in the physical world, where you're going to, if this has something to do with possibly a job loss or not being able to fulfill your desires and dreams in terms of your career goals or making the money that you want, hold on, it's coming to you, but you're not quite there yet. You have to take a couple of steps still to overcome your anxiety, to embrace self-love, true self-compassion and love, where you're like, I know I'm worthy, I'm amazing, I have all of these gifts and skills. And every time that voice creeps up and says, no, you're not worthy of anything, who do you think you are? You're just imagining this stuff. You don't have a special purpose. You're just average. You're like everyone else. You ignore that. You ignore that voice. That voice is never going to help you manifest the dreams that you have. It's okay if it bubbles up. It bubbles up for all of us. But then once you have the strength, you're going to push that voice away and you're going to keep trudging forward at a pace that feels comfortable. I'm not telling you to burn yourself out. Rest when you need to rest. Take action when you have the energy to take action. But right now, I think that you need to sort of play devil's advocate against that voice. So when that comes up, you can ask yourself, well, why do you feel that way? And really analyze where that's coming from. Does it sound like somebody you know? Is it taking you back to a place where you were a child and somebody around you said those same words to you? Because if that's the case, that is their projection and they failed you. I mean, there's likely reasons why they did the things that they did, but That wasn't just, that wasn't fair. And now you can nurture yourself. Now you can visualize in your own mind what you wish that person had said to you. You can say that to your own inner child, because that little person is still inside you, waiting for someone to say, you are loved, you are worthy, you are capable, you have a destiny, and you are going to be creating so much joy and positivity in the world. How do you want to express that? I see that in you. The cards are saying that. And once you start to shift that and you start to fight back against that, all of a sudden you're going to have the energy to charge forward. New ideas are going to come through to you. You're not going to listen to these naysayers any longer. And you won't have the full picture. You're going to go piece by piece, but you are going to end up at this energy. Now, one of the things that I always do, I've talked about this in other readings, but I really like to give you guys real tools like that are tried and tested, things that I do in my own life to help you move out of this energy. So I have safeties. It's up to you what you want your safeties to be, but they are high vibrational, positive thoughts that help me to feel good when I am in a state of feeling low about myself. So if it's a situation where all of a sudden, you know, that ego mind jumps forward and starts telling me that I'm fat, or, you know, I'm old, or whatever it is that's going to make me feel crappy, I will redirect. I say to myself, sometimes even out loud, if I really need to drown out that voice, that this isn't helpful to me. I'm not listening to this, and this is just BS. And then I will redirect myself to something that is positive, whether that is a memory, or I go and cuddle my dogs, or I go on a walk outside and I look for birds or nature that's exciting. And, you know, that's my thing. I like walking outside, and I like to observe what animals and birds are around me. Or I'll put on amazing music that makes me feel good. I have a playlist that's like my high vibe playlist that I can put on, and I know no matter what, whatever song comes on, it's gonna like pump me up. It's gonna take me out of this energy. So you have to kind of prepare for the inevitable rise of this anxiety or this ego mind. Prepare in advance, you know, put together a Spotify playlist that's like, you know, your go-to playlist. And anytime you hear a song at any point in your day that makes you feel positive, add it to the playlist. It doesn't have to be curated. It doesn't have to flow properly. You can worry about that later. You know, all you need to do is make sure that you have that there. If it's only one song, that's a start, right? And just build up from there. But shifting your energy and the way you think about yourself is going to open up so many doorways to you. So what else can you tell me about this curse? Yes, new blueprints. Not only are you going to be shifting the way that you think about yourself, it's going to rub off on other people. There might be some major breakthrough that you have in terms of, you know, the way that you heal, or maybe these breakthroughs that you're going to have are going to help you to think about another problem that we have in the world in a new way. And you're going to, your energy shift and whatever your actions are going to take you in a new direction that's going to help heal others and help them to metamorphosize is what's coming forward. You're going to help them to get into alignment. You got the alignment card. I was just going to talk about this butterfly and transmutating. You're going to help them to get into alignment so that they can fulfill their greater purpose as well. They're going to be doing different things to you. You know, there's enough for everyone. Everyone here has a very special purpose. All of you. You all have a special purpose, and everyone's purpose dovetails together. We all fit together like a puzzle. And so if you fulfill your purpose and you're like, I've always wanted to have my own advertising agency. I just want to start off small. I just want to work with small independent businesses in my hometown, and I want to help them with their advertising, and I want to help them get onto social media. Well, if you did that, just you starting, and you just start a side hustle where you just, were through word of mouth, and you start working with some of the businesses in your neighborhood, eventually it will grow to a point where you're going to have to hire other people, photographers, web developers, graphic designers, and now you have helped all those other people fulfill their life purpose because they don't want to do the same thing as you. Like, people will fall onto trends and then it won't work out for them, and then they'll feel like, no, being an entrepreneur or being independent or doing something that I'm passionate about won't work for me. It's like, no, it will work for you as long as you're following your passions. You're not following the trends. You're following what your heart is telling you to do. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. This did not make sense to me. What I am doing right now did not make sense to me when I was in my old traditional life. I had to just have faith, and I just walked forward, and it worked out. It's like a miracle, and it will happen for you too. Furred and feathered friends, you need to start approaching life the way that animals do, listening to your instincts. Where is your instinct guiding you towards? And also start looking around at nature and seeing what the, birds and the bees and the animals and everything around you is doing. If something catches your eye, look it up. See what the spiritual meaning of it is. Because I personally have found now, what I was going to say is I have personally found that spirit is constantly talking to us. Now, my training definitely goes back to this energy of what I associate with indigenous communities and pagan beliefs, shamanic tradition of looking at the signs in nature and what is that communicating to us. That's where my heart lies, not only from my training in this life, but also my past life energy. For you, it might be slightly different, but wherever you're being called to, if it's not animals and synchronicities there, maybe you feel really called to start working with crystals. Whatever it is, dive into it, because there's a bunch of rituals that if you start implementing them in your life on a day-to-day basis, it's going to help you get into alignment. It's going to give you the insight that you need to be able to see where the blueprint is guiding you. You're going to have self-love. You're going to have the boundaries that you need. You'll have the coping strategies to be able to deal with the anxiety. Then you're going to just seamlessly move towards your payday, your abundance. It won't all happen overnight, but it will happen a lot faster than you think. What is the timing like on there? All right, let's see. So, first card was the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. That is so exciting. The energy of the Tower is moving out of your life. Capricorn is all about building things in the physical world, being abundant, making money. Your commitment is being tested. I hate that happens. Honestly, I really do. I hate it. It sucks. But they're helping you. You have to try and look at things from a higher perspective. You're not being punished because you're not getting the blessing. What is happening is the universe is making sure that you're capable of handling what you already have achieved. Because you're going to have, once you get to this Queen of Coins energy, that's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of success. All on your shoulders, all at one time. I've talked about this before, but imagine you wanted to have that advertising agency. You want to work with all those businesses. You envision that it's going to be, a couple of clients slowly trickling in. Well, what if all of a sudden it isn't a couple of clients? What if you get 50 new clients that all want you to work on their advertising and they all contact you in the first week? And you have never done any of this before, right? Like, that would turn something that was a blessing into a complete nightmare. They're trying to help you get over your anxiety, right? So just be mindful of the fact that your guides know what's going on. They know everything you're struggling with. So you can trust them. You can trust them to guide you at the pace that's manageable. Just know that you don't know everything that's going to happen for you. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Yes, you're dealing with the emotional stuff first, and then they're going to transition you into taking care of more of the physical stuff, more of the things that are 3D. Now, a lot of the times with the way that society is structured, we are more comfortable with dealing with things in the 3D. Even problems, we're more comfortable if it's dealing with a problem with another person versus the internal struggle that we have inside, right? That feels so overwhelming. But that is the one realm you have complete control over. You don't have any control over what other people do. You have complete dominion and authority over everything that's happening inside you. Once you know that, once you understand that, you'll change the way that you deal with all of your emotions and how you talk to yourself. It will shift your entire reality. So what else do you want pile number 3 to know about this curse? Okay. Oh, you got time to shine. Creates the energetic resonance for golden opportunities. Manifest, my friends. You are building up to this pinnacle where you're going to be at the top of your game and you're going to be able to shine. Let me get some of these other cards up off of the ground. The next one is Awaken, 3 rays of light. Balance male and female energies. You may need to do a little work in terms of your drive versus your emotional compass. Like, are you a person that is highly empathetic and compassionate, and maybe your emotions rule you versus you ruling your emotions? Or maybe you're somebody who's very detached from your emotions and you're much more physical with action and logic, and your emotions scare you. Well, you need to ask your guides, right? Internal dialogue, basically, is what I'm telling you. Ask, call out for help. It's like a prayer. And you're going to ask them to help you find ways to balance this energy out. That might be through hobbies. That might be through something like journaling or, taking a class or something. It will be different for each of you. But you have to ask your guides for help because you have free will. So you can walk through this life and do it all on your own, and they're totally okay with that. They're watching you at all times. But if you want the help, I highly recommend it because, like I said before, they know everything about you, right? Who's going to be better to help you than the energies that literally know everything that's going on? Not just you, but like how you're connected through this web to all the other people. So just send out a prayer. Love charm, attract a lover, soulmate, or life partner. Ooh, maybe some of you guys have been having trouble in terms of love and you're waiting for the right connection to come through for you, and you're gonna have like a beautiful romance. Oh, that's exciting. I like that. Healing, true healing of the mind, body, and soul. Yes. You're going to heal so much, and I mean, the healing can feel like it goes on for a really long time too. But after every breakthrough, you will have this sense of like peace and calm. And remember what I said before, when you're just about to align and have that final piece of the puzzle come into, like, snap into place, you're going to feel like you're at your wit's end. You're going to feel like I can't go on any longer. And that's when the energy shifts. It's happened like so many times for me, and I still hate it, but it is the way it is. Prosperity, a prosperous business with riches and success. Yes. So much abundance coming through to you with the Queen of Coins, Ace of Coins. Yes, you're going to have all of your financial needs taken care of. Like, honestly, I forgot that we started with the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Ace of Pentacles twice. if you already know what the idea is, start taking action towards it. Even if it's one small step, doesn't matter. Once you take that one step, you'll know what the next step is. It will come through to you. Maybe not immediately, but within a short amount of time, the next step will appear. Power symbol, cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body. So you may, if you are having trouble with like anxiety, and you may be an empath and you're absorbing energy from other people, like I always do. So you might want to start working with crystals. I always wear my crystal bracelets, different crystals that are really helpful. Black kyanite, black onyx, black tourmaline. Where's my black tourmaline? Here's the black tourmaline. It's sort of like, you guys can't see that. Anyways, you can look it up. Any of the black crystals will help you. And you just carry that with you, or you get a bracelet or another piece of jewelry and wear that. And that will really help ground you. And then also meditate. Those little exercises of, like, say, erecting a protective barrier around you, envisioning yourself being in a bubble of light, envisioning all the anxiety and the low vibrational energy being released from your body because you're pushing it away, like you're blowing away smoke. All of those things really, really help. If you're not in the practice of doing this, you might think, oh my God, that's ridiculous. How is that going to help? Try it. Try it. Try sleep affirmations. They also really help. Protection, strong protection magic for the family and home. You're constantly protected because your guides are always watching over you. But you did pick the sage bundle. Try and sage your own home. You don't have to use sage. This is just garden sage. This is just like, you know, grown here in North America, regular garden sage. This isn't white sage. And you can use this, or you can use any other herb that feels like you're drawn to it. Peppermint can be something that is very cleansing and healing. Lavender, try different things. Yeah, there's like the natural plants in your environment too. There's loads of different options. You just need to go on Google and search, and I'm sure you're going to find something that you could even make at home. Maybe that's part of this ritual. Maybe you want to start making your own cleansing bundles. Then you have triple moon. Embrace all aspects of yourself, the divine and the earthly. Yes, your power at every stage of your life. You are powerful now, you were powerful then, and you will be powerful in the future. It's just different versions of power, and they all are helping you to walk through this life and get you into alignment with your life purpose and have the prosperity that's owed to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to know how this resonates for you. If you wanted to comment in the comments section, that would be amazing. I love chatting with you guys. Maybe you could like the video, share it. If you haven't already joined the family, please do subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings. I do spiritual coaching, Reiki, mediumship with your spirit guides, where I channel messages from them and I introduce you to them. And I also do past life readings. If you have any questions, you can always contact me through the contact form on my website, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care.